I'm now joined by Catherine Moore from the library. Welcome.
Hello.
So, library, brilliant. We love the library, and we've been doing a lot of sessions with the library. And we're going to talk a little bit about what the library can offer to students. Now, you're a teaching and learning librarian and have been with us for quite a few years. And you wanted to talk about the help that's available for students.
So I wanted to talk about all the help available on the library website because there is a lot of it and it can be hard to see the context of it and where to find a what. And especially around assignment time when, you know, you've probably left it a bit too late and you're a bit stressed and you just want to know where things are. So I thought it'd be a good thing to go through those now.
Brilliant. Now, a lot of our students are very, very organised. A lot of them have already found their assignments and they're very super organised.
Wow.
But it's worth pointing out that you do get a week to do the assignment.
Yes.
And so we do expect mild panic during that week where everything is being sorted. So if you do think, oh, it's assignment week and it's due in, I mean, I used to do mine right up until the last minute. So you are expected to be doing them fairly close to that deadline as well. So they're in their panic, they're going through, where do they go for help?
Okay, so the library website is really visible from student home. From the library website, the help and support tab is where we have pretty much all the help that we give you, which includes help on referencing, which is something students get really concerned about sort of before their TMAs, and the OU Harvard guide, which most students use for referencing, is made really nice and obvious on that help and support page. We also have help for finding information.
We need to turn the screen around because... Now, listen, only you can see it, and that's not very helpful.
That isn't, is it? OK.
And I think we might need to just... There we go.
OK, so mainly I'm going to be pointing to the help and support page, which I know really quite well.
And if we can just move it a little bit. There we go.
There we go. OK.
Perfect.
So the main sort of help features that we know students use all the time are in the centre of the page for nice and easy use, which includes things like referencing, as I was babbling on about previously, and then things like finding information, and especially for level 1, finding information for your assignment is on the left-hand side, and that contains things like where you want to search for things and a little bit about how you search for things, and then also evaluating what you find. That's all on finding information for your assignment, which if you're studying at level 1 or level 2, you'll find that really helpful. And then students who are level 3 or maybe taught masters, the finding information for your research topic area, which is also on this side, will give you things like how to do more complicated things, so how to do literature searching and how to do citation searching, and they're sort of those two main areas are really, really, really helpful resources, but I would say to have a look at really everything within that help and support tab. We also have a tab across the top of the page called Training and Events, which I think should be there-ish. And that tells you all the training that we have at the library that's online that you can attend either live, so have a chat to a librarian, and they'll talk you through a group of students on a particular subject, or you can view recorded versions of those sessions. There's also the library help desk for anything that we haven't managed to put in a training session or on the website, and that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and every single page of the library website has the contact details for the library help desk on it.
Brilliant. Thank you. There's so much help and support. And so people can chat to librarians and go to these online sessions. What happens in those? What do people talk about? Do they just phone you and ask about referencing? What do they ask you about?
Okay. So the online sessions are about particular things, but we also do get lots of questions, various things from finding information to referencing. And I have prepped with me questions that students normally ask.
Oh, brilliant.
And
lovely.
I wanted your help with this.
Yes, of course.
So if you could read out some of our standard questions.
Okay.
Whilst dressing up.
OK, that's good. I like that. Shall we bin that laptop? Get that out the way.
A little old. I don't think it's been a full
We
yet.
love hats at the Student Hub Live. Can I choose anyone then?
You can choose anyone to be any student you like.
Sure.
I won't insist on a US accent, but you can do one if whilst reading the card.
No, I'm not going to do my accent. Dear librarian, I spent ages looking for things relevant, but I just can't find anything. I am studying level 2 module. My topic is teaching English as a second language in Africa.
Ooh, okay, interesting topic, but it kind of doesn't matter what the topic is in terms of where you look for help. As you're a level 2 student, I would send you to the help and support pages in the library website and finding information for your assignment. That'll tell you how to search and where you want to look.
So you're not going to tell me the answer?
No, I'm going to tell you where to find the answer. Oh, blimey.
I know. Right, okay, next.
The Australian Education Index would be a good database to start, but I'm going to ignore that.
So if you ask again, they might just give you a bit more information. It's all about how you interview these people, isn't it? Dear librarian, my tutor recommended that I use Google Scholar to help me find information for my TMA. Did they now? But I keep being asked to pay for the articles, some of which cost just over £30 for one article. Yours in irritation.
Okay, so Google Scholar can be a really good tool to use if you've set it up to be able to find what the library has, which you can do really, really, really easily. And there are instructions available on the library website under Help and Support saying accessing e-resources using Google Scholar to tell you how to use Google Scholar so it sees you as an OU student to then be able to take you through to the stuff we subscribe to. So it can be a really helpful tool.
But why would you use Google Scholar then? I appreciate this isn't scripted. I guess because of the citations, isn't it? So you know who was the most published.
You can use it for the citations. Some of our students just prefer it. And if you want to do a really, really quick search rather than in-depth search, then having set up Google Scholar once, it's really easy to use. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I use both Google Scholar and Library Search.
So do I cut and paste it and chuck it in the Library Search and then get it for free? That's what I do.
Well, if you'd put the effort into already setting it up, you wouldn't even have to do that, Karen.
No, I know. I need to get more organised. I know. Whenever the library come on, I always feel so unorganised. Right. Dear librarian, my module has asked me to read this article, but I can't find it online. The article is Law, and it's by Neil Duxbury, and it's published in the American Journal of Jurisprudence. I really need to find it. Please help me, in capital letters.
Okay, so if you've been asked to read it for your module, we will have it. So firstly, don't panic. It's likely that this student has been using Library Search and just looking for the title of the article. But in this case, that's law. So that's going to give him loads of stuff that he doesn't want to read. So in that case, he'd look for the title of the journal, so the American Journal of Jurisprudence. And then from the journal, he'd navigate to the article. Now, all of that is on the library website under Help and Support, e-journals and articles, and then accessing particular articles.
But it sounds like some of these students, I mean, you keep saying you can find it on the Library Search tab, but there's panic going on here.
Yeah.
So how do you support people then through this chat? Is a lot of it reassurance and just saying, calm down, we can get this?
Yes, absolutely. An awful lot of it is sometimes just providing a nice calm voice on the end of the phone, or the same by web chats. And actually sometimes just the reassurance that the web chat is there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yeah.
Sometimes it is just someone, you know, it's always like when I call the computing help desk and they go turn it on and off and then it works, and it's just absolutely brilliant. So much easier. Right, OK, I'm not sure what sort of person this would be, but this is someone with problems.
Yeah.
Dear librarian, I'm having problems, see? Studying at home at the moment, and we're having a new roof.
Hence the hard hat.
That was a fluke. Can I come to the library in Milton Keynes to study? I live in London, so it's a bit of a trek, but to be able to study without the constant sound of hammering would be worth it. P.S. I have tried earplugs, but these don't help. Sad face. This is from Lee.
It happens semi-regularly, to be honest. And you can always come to the library in Milton Keynes. However, as Lee is in London, there's going to be loads more libraries nearer him that are going to be so much more convenient. So what I would suggest is to join the Sconnell Access Scheme, because that will allow you to join university libraries that you can travel to, and you can have a quiet study space to study in. So that's from the Help and Support tab, and then accessing other libraries will tell you all about how to join not Google Scholar, the Sconnell Access Scheme, and how wonderful it is.
Brilliant, excellent. OK, now we're going through as many questions as we've got time for, because we've got this boxing match soon.
Oh,
so...
and the boxers were limbering up outside.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I know. They take it really seriously. Mind you, so do I. It's the only way to settle such matters. And we're going through all these questions that are really typical, but if you have a question you would like to ask the library, put it in the chat. Right, next one. Oh, this is a good one. Dear librarian, please help me. My module asks me to do a literature search for my TMA. My tutor said there was help on the library website, but I can't find it. I haven't really used the library before. I have always muddled through, but now I have to be able to use it really quickly. I know so many students like this. My assignment is due in 2 weeks, and I'm looking for patient handling. I'm looking at a patient handling in children's wards.
Okay, so in terms of sorry, is this
only,
citation or literature searching? I can't remember.
Literature searching.
Literature searching. Okay,
yes.
So there's an FAQ on literature searching. There is also an online training session. However, as we're on just under 2 weeks, I would have a look at the FAQ first, and then maybe have a quick look at the recording for the stuff you're struggling with.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
See, how was that for pith?
That was pithy. Right. Okay. Next. Dear librarian, you see, if you go through these quickly, I'll get through more. I found a really relevant tweet. Oh, good. For my assignment, this is becoming a lot more popular. I want to quote it to show public opinion, but I cannot work out how to reference it. Does this mean I can't put it in my assignment, as my module tells me I need to use the OU Harvard style?
OK, so the OU Harvard Guide, again, on the library website, does have how to reference tweets in there. However, if you had found a source of information that wasn't covered by the OU Harvard Guide, that's OK, because there is a section that says in the OU Harvard Guide, this type of resource isn't here, help, what do I do? And that will tell you how you can reference anything and everything.
Yeah, and it's a good idea to reference other things. Yeah. Right, oh, this is a good one, home. OK, last one. Yeah, to whom it may concern. Previously, I have studied with Oxford Brookes University. There, I had a real library. I find it very helpful to attend the library induction, as the library was invaluable to my first degree. I am concerned that not having this facility will become detrimental to my studies.
OK, so libraries are great, and of course we want to give all our OU students one. So instead of a library induction, we have a Getting Started guide, which is available from the library homepage. In terms of mimicking being able to meet librarians, we have all the training and events that we do on the library website on that training and events tab. And we also have the library help desk for everything else.
Brilliant, excellent. Don't worry, that's all we've got time for. We're out of time. I'm really sorry, Catherine. But I can see there are so many questions, and it is so broad, the scope of the things people are asking. And I guess, you know, one of the things is that there are lots of practical things, like how to do things right at the last minute. It's also very clear that there's a lot of self-help on that website, but also, like you say, so many students might want that reassurance and support to actually do something at the last minute. Yes. And you like people being in touch with you, don't you?
I love it. I'm always happy when students talk to me.
Good, excellent. Are there any burning questions, HJ and Sophie?
What is HJ's name?
It's going to be harder to
Well, some people keep suggestion names, which I like this. That's a lot better. So I think someone said Hillary and Hagrid. So I like Horton. So I think what we'll have to do... Herman, I like that one. So we'll have to have someone said we'll have to have a word cloud with some of these suggestions, and we can all pick, can't we?
I think so.
But,
HJ, don't talk to anyone who's being mean to you. Just ignore them.
But a lot of people, Helen from the library's joined us, and she's just given people lots of great information. So we're just talking about the fact that you can actually visit the OU library, which is a wonderful, lovely building. And I'm always getting told off for sneaking there instead of being on this desk.
And about your overdue books that you took out last week, which are now no longer in your possession. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, and you spent ages doing that. Right, would you like to see a tour of the library? We have a tour of the library, and while we show you that video, which will show you all around the library, we're going to set up for our philosophical, metaphorical boxing match, where we plenarise this whole 4 series of boot camps and figure out exactly what we've learned and whether the philosophy department or HJ knew more about all of the things we've been covering. So we'll see you in about 5 minutes, but in the meantime, enjoy this video of the library and keep chatting.
Hello, Karen.
Our students want to see what goes on in the library. Can you show us around?
Yes, please, welcome to the library.
Thank you.
So here we have the ground floor, and on the ground floor we have the module materials.
Right.
So people can come in and they can have a look at what module materials the OU offers.
Brilliant.
And then upstairs we have some meeting rooms. We also have some books and journals as well. But for the majority of students, they're never going to visit the library here in Milton Keynes, which is why we have this fantastic online library. And I'd like to show you a bit behind the scenes of the online library.
Fantastic.
So if you'd like to follow me upstairs.
Yep, brilliant.
Gosh, there's an awful lot that goes on in here, isn't there, Helen?
There is, and we only have a short time to show you what we do. So we'd like to talk about three things. We'd like to talk about the help desk, how we support students and staff via the help desk, how we write activities that go into modules, and also how we liaise with academic colleagues who actually write the modules as well.
Excellent.
So yeah, so let's go talk to Catherine.
Perfect. Hi, Catherine.
Hello.
So, can you tell us, what are you doing right now?
Okay, at the moment I'm working on the help desk. A student has just emailed us saying she wants to access a particular journal article, but unfortunately we don't have it in our online library, so I'm just emailing her, telling her the alternative methods she can use to access it.
Fantastic. So apart from email, how can students then contact the library?
Okay, we're also available through the telephone and web chat, and web chat is 24/7.
24/7, excellent.
Yep.
So they can email you questions about finding articles, what else?
Finding articles, accessing other libraries, finding information in general. If they have a study topic and they're not quite sure where to look, we can help them with that. We can also help them with referencing. Pretty much anything you would ask a librarian, we will help with.
Oh, fantastic. That's such a wonderful support. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for telling our students about that. Helen, I know you wanted to talk about academic liaison. Can we do that now?
Okay.
Hi, Fiona.
Hello.
So we wanted to talk a little bit about academic liaison. What's that all about then?
Well, I'm actually involved in supporting module teams when they're writing modules to integrate library resources and also, of course, very importantly, digital and information literacy skills.
Brilliant. And why is that important then for students?
Well, the resources are important because it helps to enrich the module material, and the skills are really important in today's world because although it's also important to have digital skills in academia, it's particularly important when you're out in the world of employment these days.
So your role really in this sort of sense is it really about embedding some of those activities and skills within the module so that students have that seamless experience and are developing those skills along the way?
That's right, yes, and it's very much my work to raise the visibility of the resources and the skills that the teams can actually integrate into the modules.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Fiona. That's brilliant.
That's fine.
So we also then can look at this idea of authoring and then I guess how these ideas are taken from the academic liaison and written by the library as part of that team. Shall we go and find out more?
Yeah.
Nicola,
Hello.
I wanted to talk to you a bit about authoring. So what does that involve?
Yeah, so students might not realise that we actually write some of the activities that sit in their module materials. So what happens is we go along to module team meetings, which is where we meet all the academics that are writing the course. And then we talk a little bit about what library skills would be really useful to the students like at this point in their studies. And then we go away, we write some activities that will really help with that. And then they appear in the module materials. So at the moment I'm actually working on an activity for a level 1 engineering module, and it's all about how to find newspaper articles using some of the really useful newspaper databases that we've got access to.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you for filling us in on that. That sounds really, really interesting.